Gina and Joseon had a quarrel. Now neither of them is paying attention to the other. Joseon was extremely angry this time. He left the mountain early in a bad mood. Audie, the cousin, was caught in the middle of the two. He didn't know what to say. The atmosphere seemed a bit awkward. Gina was holding little Joseon in her arms. Her mood was extremely low. After Audie gave Gina a few words of advice, he stood up and said to her, "Sister-in-law, rest at home. I'm going out to herd the sheep." I don't know exactly what caused Gina and Joseon to have this argument. I don't know. They are currently in a heated state. They haven't mentioned the lost flock of sheep at home. The sheep were already found yesterday. This argument should not have been caused by the loss of the sheep. Besides, the loss of the sheep is not the fault of Gina or Joseon. However, come to think of it, it's impossible for two married people to have no conflicts. Fortunately, the cousin Audie is helping them now. Audie imitated Joseon and shouted the call to drive the flock of sheep out for grazing. Only Gina and little Joseon were left in the shelter. The innocent little Joseon naturally didn't understand the conflict between his parents. He sat in his cradle, chewing a biscuit with great interest. Today's weather was exceptionally cold. So little Joseon wore multiple layers of clothes, making them particularly thick. Gina was lighting the fire while telling little Joseon about all the things her father did wrong. Of course, little Joseon couldn't understand his mother's words. He just sat in the cradle obediently listening. Gina picked up the basket and was preparing to go out to collect some firewood. When Xiao Joseon saw Gina leaving, he loudly called out for his mother. This was the first time he had shouted "Mom" so clearly. After hearing this, Gina was overjoyed inside. Since Xiao Joseon wasn't sleeping, he didn't dare to go far. So he removed the originally rotten fence outside the house, cut it with a hatchet, and used it as firewood. These pieces of wood had been used for many years, and were already rotten beyond repair. However, they were very dry for firewood and quite suitable. Gina swung the hatchet, and in no time, she sorted out a large pile of wood. She inserted the firewood crosswise and lengthwise into the basket. The small and wide baskets that she made, I think, are completely useless. They are unstable to stand on, and can't hold much. We don't know why they were made in this shape. Gina put the dry wood into the basket, kneeling down and hanging the basket over her forehead. She struggled to stand up and carried it back to the shelter. When Xiao Joseon heard the noise outside, he kept shouting loudly. Compared to this, Gina's son was particularly well behaved. He was very easy to handle. As long as there was food, water, and company, he wouldn't cry or fuss. The little guy stayed alone in the shelter for a long time. Apparently, he felt very aggrieved. When he saw Gina come in, he wailed. He wailed and pouted at Gina, with a face full of sadness and unwillingness. But the small cradle trapped him inside. He couldn't get out no matter how he tried. He could only pout his small mouth, screaming and pouting at Gina, and stretching out his little hands, trying to shake his head and cry for his mother's embrace. Gina kept telling him to call Mom. And from the corner, she took out a bag of cookies, opened it and gave a piece to Xiao Joseon. He then placed the frying pan on the stove, and prepared to cook a simple meal. After all, adults can't eat when they are angry, but children still need to eat something to fill their stomachs. It's just a pity that the incident involving the gate affected the rest of the situation. Gina and Xiao Joseon's argument also caused that Audie, their cousin, didn't have breakfast that morning. However, he could pick up some chestnuts or other wild fruits in the jungle to fill his stomach. Stomach. After Gina released the aroma of cumin, she tore open and crushed the instant noodles, and poured them all into the pot at once. Gina was very casual, never being fussy about details. Even the instant noodle seasoning packet was added to the pot along with them. They were all stir-fried together. Then she poured half the pot of water, cook it over high heat until soft. Now, his mood wasn't too good, so he didn't have the energy to cook. Even the curry powder was forgotten. When you cook at home, remember to add some curry powder for a try. On our homepage's display window, there are curry powder and curry cubes. You can also get a portion. Try making curry beef or curry chicken at home. With simple ingredients, you can easily prepare a meal. The instant noodles were poured into small bowls. It was time to eat. Jackson's cradle was obviously too small. This was the one he used when he was born. Now he couldn't turn over or stretch his legs inside. Jackson really should have a larger one made for him. The food was too hot. It needed to be cooled down. Gina didn't eat in the morning. She was already hungry. While cooling down the food for Jackson, she didn't care about the heat or the burning sensation. She held the bowl and ate voraciously, enjoying it to the fullest. The simple instant noodles were eaten by Gina in a slurping manner. One after another, each bite was exceptionally sweet. Jackson was being very obedient at this moment. He sat quietly beside her, waiting for his mother to finish eating first. After Gina hastily finished her meal, she helped Jackson take off his cotton coat. She picked up the instant noodles with a spoon and fed him. Jackson likes noodles. His eating posture was even more cute and adorable. It was so endearing. The instant noodle seasoning was quite strong. Gina didn't forget to give him a few big gulps of water. Watching Jackson's obedient and cooperative appearance, Gina extended her thumb and praised him warmly. Jackson also clapped his hands, showing contentment and happiness. At this moment, presumably Gina had already forgotten all the unhappiness with Jackson, and was far away from it.